Yo, guys, today I am here with Big Court of the Holding Court podcast and Legacy Builders University. Some of you know him as an actor. Some of you know him as a film TV producer. Some of you know him as a podcast host, right? He's also an investor, serial entrepreneur. He's amassed a crazy following on social media in the last 3 years. He's also a powerhouse in the real estate space, owning over 24 real estate properties. And in the last 3 years, with his social media, him tapping into his network, he's hit a high six figures, not only in social media following, but also in income as well, right? And in this video, we're actually going to break that down for you guys so you can do it too, right?
Yeah.
So without further ado, let me throw it to you.
Duno, first, let me tell you, you're too kind. You're too kind. Couple other things, a couple dozen, maybe a little more, you know what I mean? A little few, maybe 2 dozen, you know what I mean? But no, I listen, thank you for being here, brother. I appreciate you spending this time with me. Yeah, listen, some of you guys may know me from the Holding Court podcast. I'll tell you a little brief history of myself. I started in entertainment business back in the 90s. I was signed to No Limit Records. If you guys remember the music mogul Master P, he's a good friend of mine. I've worked with him for almost 30 years. So that's how I got my start in entertainment. For some of y'all probably wasn't even born, but started in music, got into doing movies, produced a movie with myself and Cat Williams. I've done several other independent films. I actually have a new film coming out on WeTV, All Black. So I stay busy. But yeah, I created the Holding Court podcast with just 3 years ago this month, and landed a deal with Revolt TV a year and a half into that. Being a creative and just creating content and just bringing ideas in my head and watching them come to fruition and manifest through the hard work. That's what I do. And, I'm blessed to have been able to make a living doing what I love. And that's really the blessing here is, for 30 plus years, I've been able to actually just do what I want to do. My time has more or less always been my own, just striking out on faith and doing the things that I like to do. So that's how the journey started.
And guys, like one thing he didn't tell you, he's been an entrepreneur for over 30 years, right? Like that's not a small number. That takes work. And for a lot of you that are watching, you're probably entrepreneurs as well. And you know that it's not a soft journey, especially emotionally, right? Like you're gonna have your highs, you're gonna have your lows, you're gonna have your super lows where you don't even know if you're gonna make it out the next month or the next week, right? Just financially, right? So I know a lot of you guys are here for the money, so we're gonna get into the money questions. But before that, can you kind of tell them a little bit of how you weren't really a fan of social media at all, right? Like you've done media, right? You've done music, you've
Yes.
done movies, you've done TV, and I think you were also the co-host on TMZ, right?
Yes.
So TMZ Hip Hop, right? So kind of just what got you onto social media, why you finally made that decision to make it happen.
Yeah, I'm Generation X, so social media took some adjusting. I felt like it was very just it was too much. It was, because even back in the day with celebrity, though you had notoriety, people could only see you in a magazine once a month or in a newspaper or on a TV show that may come on, right? It wasn't this incessant, just every day I could be looking at you, tapping in with you, and this expectation for you to tap in with your audience. So I just felt like it was a little, I'm trying to think of the word, but it breached the privacy and kind of took away a little bit of anonymity. So yes, I did not understand it, nor did I like it at first, but I didn't see it as a tool at first. I just saw the supposed entertainment value of it. I didn't see it as a tool. And this is as far back as MySpace, So, but fast forward, I had did I had Master P had a radio show called Doing the Most with Playboy Radio. So he made me a part of that show. And thank God the executives mandated me to have a social media presence. So if it wasn't for me doing that show, I don't even know if I'd be on social media now. So they mandated me to get They even had people come in and coach and teach me how to post on Instagram. I was lost. Now, mind you, this was only about 7, 8 years ago. So that's how I was kind of forced into social media.
Mm,
And initially getting on social media, I don't even know if there was monetization back then. 7, 8 years ago, I'm not sure. I don't think so, right? It was just a thing of, hey, look at me, look at me. This is what I'm doing. So I kept it very basic. Like I would post and then get off and probably wouldn't post for another week. People would comment, I wouldn't respond because I had to
right.
adjust. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I don't know that person. What am I going to say? Right.
That,
And
that's
so, huh?
go ahead. Go ahead.
And so I was just going to say, until someone told me, well, they call it social media for a reason. You should respond. I said, oh, okay. So, listen, I was super rough around the edges. I resisted it. I rejected it. But I say about 2 or 3 years in, I kind of started noticing. I seen the value in it. I was like, oh, especially in social circles when I would kind of go places and instead of asking for phone numbers, people would be like, what's your IG? What's your IG? And then I started learning the little social dynamics of judgment. Like people kind of look at it and, they kind of come up with what they feel like your value is. And I was like, oh, okay. And naturally, as time has gone on, it's in our lives. It's here. It's here to stay. It's a part of our lives. So I went ahead and I embraced it. And I've been through every level of learning, like this is why I tell people you just have to show up and you have to start. I would start with pictures, but social media has evolved too because at first Instagram was just pictures, right? It wasn't reels and different things like that. So, it's evolved and you have to learn how to evolve with it. So yeah, I did not like social media.
So, so you saying that, right? Like there's a lot of
Yeah,
people that can definitely relate to
yeah,
just not liking social media, to not
yeah,
even wanting, there's ton of like what do they call them? Anon accounts, right? Or Anon
yes.
accounts where they have no
Hmm.
face, no nothing, and they're just there to comments or troll or do whatever they're doing, right? And
Yep.
the biggest thing with social media too that most people don't know or don't even pay attention to, right? Like it's the biggest it's become that social currency, right? It's become such a part of our social lives where some people they don't even want to engage with you unless you have a presence, right?
That's
But
right.
who are you? Why should I be listening to you right now?
Yeah,
What are you even trying to tell me right now, right? There's a
right.
lot of that happening nowadays, especially if you're not on one of the bigger platforms, right?
Yeah.
If you're on a smaller platform, even though you've got 100, because it's not as popular as this one, uh,
Yeah.
we don't really care about that
Right.
100,000, you know?
Right.
And what what's starting to happen is more and more people are starting to get accustomed to social media, right? It's become a new, not just marketplace, but it's become a new career, right? It's become
Yes.
a new place for you to start to make income, right? To where, hey, you can call yourself a creator and people are starting to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense, right? Where back then, if you told people you're a creator, they'd look at you like, okay,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
with now we're gonna start to transition into some the monetization side of things and really
Yeah.
give the people a lot of what they're here for, right? Which is
Yeah.
leveraging social media to not only build an audience, but to make money online as well. So can you kind of walk us through, the different ways that you've generated income through your social media presence, right? Whether it's brand deals, sponsorships, affiliate marketing, selling your own stuff, and
Yeah.
even, the opportunities that also started to come as you started to build an audience on social media.
Yeah. Well, kind of going back a little bit on what you said. First, you got to first understand that social media it started to incentivize everybody, right? That's why they start paying, so everybody wants to get in, but yeah, to answer your question, it's so what I learned is for one, you have to figure out what your lane is, right? What you're good at, what you're passionate about, right? Then it's important to understand that whatever that is, no matter how weird you think it is or how lame you think it is or just how regular, whatever, there are millions of people just like you. So all you have to do is find your people. That's the first thing I learned. There are if you love knitting, if you love what is it called? ASMR, where
Yeah,
they sounds and stuff like that. There's
yeah,
millions of people. There's a whole sector of people that like that type of stuff, you know. So firstly, you find your people. And then a lot of times it's consistency. You know, you want high quality content as well. And then I tell people all the time, study what people are doing. Find out once you figure out what your lane is, go and do your research. Figure out who also is in your lane, and especially the ones that are winning and that are ahead of you. See what they're doing, see what's working for them, and then make it your own. Take bits and pieces from them and then make it your own. It's a lot of tweaking, you know, it's a lot of figuring out what works and what doesn't, process of elimination. So I'd say start with that high quality content and doing what you love. Now, how I was able to monetize. Okay, let's talk about monetization. For one, you get that from the platforms. There's a couple ways. You named several of them, right? But me having a podcast, I understood that. So once you build a database of people, once you start getting traffic and you get people that's paying attention to you, they tapping in with you, you have to figure out where they're going to pay you at. So we know they pay you with the click, they pay you with their eyes, with the traffic through the monetization of that platform, be it IG, be it TikTok, be it Facebook, be it YouTube, same thing, right? And the traffic, hence the ads that that platform is running. So they'll pay you for that. That's one way. Now, the other way, depending on what you do, right? So for instance, I have a podcast. So the ways you can monetize the podcast, obviously through the platforms, but then also say for instance, brand deals. Because I am in front of the camera and I'm seen in front of a lot of people, brands will send me stuff. They'll solicit to say, hey, we'll pay you to wear this shirt. We'll pay you to mention this product. We'll pay you to put this product on the table. We'll pay you to put it, a watermark it on whatever, right? So that opens up that stream of income. Then you also have, well, this is again, depending on how you choose to do it. With me having a podcast, so there are always up and coming artists, people that are trying to get their movement up. A lot of times they're willing to pay you to come on your show. So once you start getting some motion and once you start getting a database, you just have to pay attention to those inroads of money that come your way, and then you can create them as well. Then on the audio side, right? So I was able to, again, the name of the game is to take the same asset and try to monetize it in in as many places as you can, right? So if I have an hour and a half podcast, I know I can dice it up. I know I can take it to TikTok. Okay, TikTok gonna pay me. Okay, I know I can dice it up, take it to YouTube. YouTube gonna pay me. I know I can dice it up, take it to Facebook. They're gonna pay me. Now, when people see me everywhere, they see me they're seeing this clip, this clip, this clip, this clip. All of them are not going to be winners, but the consistency of it, you create this synergistic effect where it's like, dang, I see him here, I see him there. Perception's everything. So now once people see you everywhere, people want to be a part of that. People want to be a part of something that they feel like is moving. So some of it is strategy, and it's also presentation. This is why I say you have to have high quality content. Now, I know I have a lot of celebrities and a lot of known people, but I tell people, I always advise people, that's what I have. You don't need that, right? You don't need that. It's all the content. It's all about the content. So as long as the content is connecting, you'll be able to do what I've been able to do with celebrities. That's just an added bonus that I was just blessed to be in a position to be able to pull together. So those are just a few of the ways that you monetize on the audio side of what I do. Again, I'm talking about what I do on the audio side. Okay, I did a deal with Revolt. So not only do I get paid from the programmatic ads, but also now they go out, they get you sponsorships. They get what they call reads. So this is something where a brand may say, hey, you have I average 100, 200,000 downloads a month. So McDonald's may come and say, hey, we have a 30-second read. Here's the script, read it. We'll run it. We'll pay you $15,000 for a 30-second read, you know? So you see, and mind you, this is just the audio of what I put up on YouTube. It's the same show. It's the same content. It's just the audio, you know? So that's what it's about. It's about taking that same asset and finding as many places as you can to monetize it, and as many ways that you can do that. And you, in essence, become an advertising agency once you got the database.
So I don't know about you guys, but he's just giving you guys a lot for those of you that are taking notes, right? Now, obviously, I'm going to dissect it for you guys so that you can really, really get all the little benefits of what he's saying. Now, before I get into that, if you don't know who I am, my name is Duno Clenor, right? I'm the COO of Legacy Builders, what we're building here for you guys and what we're leveraging to share all this, you know, amazing information with you guys. So I've also grown a pretty decent sized following over the last few years. You know, I've got about 70,000, right, across all platforms. You know, it's not that big, but I'm still able to monetize it, right? And so some of the ways that Court has mentioned to monetize, we're not telling you to create a podcast, right? Like that's one piece of content format, right? You've got video, you've got audio on that side. You've got written content, right? For those of you that like to write, that like to, you know, you love reading, like social media is evolved so much that it's not only about the videos that you're seeing. Now, sure, are you watching videos like a lot of the times? Probably, right? You know the YouTube, you know the Instagram, you know TikTok, you know Facebook, but there are other platforms that are just as popular for those of you that like to write, right? If you're a reader, there are platforms out there for people like that. And those people, those creators on those platforms, right? Like Reddit, Quora, Substacks, they're monetizing as well because people like to read. Not everybody likes to watch videos.
That's right. That's right.
And then to continue, you also have the people that like to listen, right? Where they're driving. So you got there's social media is not just Instagram, Facebook. It's not just the video platforms. It's every single piece of media out there, right? That's why it's social media, right? It's social for those of you that like to engage with other people, but then you still have the media side, right? Now, the reason we're even bringing this to you guys is because the creator economy, the creator industry as a whole is expected to be worth like $500 billion in the next 5 to 10 years, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I want a piece of that, right? Like that's a lot of money. That's, you know, it's new jobs that are being created, right? Because all these creators, they need editors, they need script writers, right? They need all these different people on their teams so that they can keep producing, right? Even a truck driver who's creating content will start to make more money than every other truck driver out there simply because he's choosing to create content on social media. A bookkeeper, a banker, a teacher, and name any career. There's not one career out there that you could name that will not benefit from creating content on social media. You were going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to tell you, and just to give you guys some reassurance to that. Listen, this is why I tell people anything that you're into, you can monetize. I have watched people that repossess cars make content, right? They literally post up cameras on their tow truck, go and they go through the whole thing of repossessing people's cars. And guess what? They get sponsorships from the cameras that they use, all kind of stuff. I've watched young guys in the hood who are fishermen who go fishing. You know what I mean? And they get sponsorships from tackle boxes and baits and different things like that. They're able to monetize their hobbies. So I've seen it all. So don't think that you have to be a podcaster. Don't think that you have to be, you know, it's really just consistency and finding your people, you know, and you have to make compelling content. Like I always tell people, go to your strengths. You have some people that are funny. Some people are naturally funny and charismatic and they make money like that, right? And so because they make funny content that usually tends to, you know, kind of go because people love to laugh, they're able to get the numbers. And with those numbers, they're able to get brand deals. They're able to get, and again, excuse me, you have so many other ways Like, just because you have traction and popularity, I get people all the time that offer me money to post in my story, to post just on social media, because they say, oh, wow, he has a following. It's bigger than mine. Let me tap into his audience. So there, again, there's so many ways to do it, but you just have to get started. And I always say, no idea is a whack idea. Nothing is stupid. You may like worms. You may like it's people out there like you that like worms as well. You know what I mean?
And
So go ahead.
no, I was gonna say that's the biggest benefit that a lot of people are missing out on. They think they need to be, the dancer on social media. They think they need to have some crazy
I
talent.
thought the same thing. I thought
Exactly.
the same
They,
thing.
they
Yeah.
they think they need to be, the best looking person out there to even show their face. But you'll see creators that, some of us might not say are as attractive,
Listen,
making a
oh
lot
my
of
God.
money.
I have seen, yes, very unique looking people. And because they're unique, they have a big following. I've seen handicapped people. I've seen the handicapped community have big followings because, people are inspired by their story. They represent that community. So listen, find your people. You know what I mean? I can't stress
100%.
that enough. So whatever you're passionate about, whatever you like, whatever it is, it can be done. It can be
And
done.
and to kind of to add on to that, right? Like I was saying, I guarantee not one of you can try me in the comments. Not one of you can give me a career that you believe could not benefit on social media, and I will give you a detailed roadmap. And that's
Yep.
actually what we're going to start to do on this channel. We're going to give you guys detailed roadmap of some of these different careers to see exactly how they can monetize, how they can start to benefit. And a lot of times, you don't even have to show your face on camera to
No.
still monetize, right? We're not here to tell you guys that, oh, you need to, like, it
Yeah.
doesn't take 3 years now. It may be back then, right? Back then, it took a lot longer to build an audience.
Mhm.
Nowadays, if you have the right people around you, if you know the right strategies to implement,
Exactly.
within
Exactly.
60, 90 days, you could have a decent sized, not just following, but a decent business where that's bringing you an extra, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 per month.
Yeah.
And now you're probably like, dang, do I do this full time or do I
Yeah.
keep balancing it? So another question that I kind of wanted to ask you, right? So as you grew your audience, so did your income, did it start to shift? Did you start to get new ideas? Did it evolve? How did you start to scale your monetization efforts to, like say, okay, I don't want these types of deals. I prefer these types of deals. I don't want to make money this way. I want to make money this way instead, right? So as you grew, as you started to monetize, how did your thought process start to evolve through that?
Well, if we're speaking specifically to podcasting, right? Yeah, there's always a thing because and I'm giving my personal experience. It would be so much easier to do different type of content. I don't engage in the messy, salacious, controversial content. Nothing wrong with that, but I don't do that. So with that being said, there were certain things that I just wouldn't do that just didn't align with me. I had certain people that wanted to pay me to come on my show that I just, I wouldn't do because I felt like it would compromise the brand. So I think as you're building something, again, everybody has different goals. There's nothing wrong with what I call social media hustling, right? If you're just doing a little something just to get a couple, dollars, I mean, there's a way that you can do that. But I figure if you're going to do it, right? So ask your question one more time.
Yeah. So how did your thought process evolve as you started to monetize, right? As you started to learn about the different ways that you could not only make some money, but really scale your income?
Um, I think for the podcasting, it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? I, I I think okay, for me, it just really came to really honing in on the quality. Understanding what I could do better, what components I was missing, and making the necessary changes. I think that's really where it came back to me, because I was lucky enough to start off with high quality. You know, we shoot on the best camera, so I didn't have to necessarily reinvest in equipment or anything like that. But with social media, you're constantly tweaking your approach, because you have to understand you're fighting against an algorithm, you're fighting against software. So things are always changing. You know what I mean? So even just with editing, right? Even just the different styles of editing, you know, what I was doing a year and a half ago may not necessarily fly today, right? So you have to study and pay attention to what's going on in your field as well. But as far as scaling, I think maybe just the output, you know, stepping up my output, especially with the shorts. You know, not being afraid to try different things. You know what I'm saying? That are still true to my brand, but you want to keep it fresh. You know, so I think if that's answering your question, I think it's just adjusting to the changes that are happening, the trends that are happening. You have to stay fluid. You can't stay just one way. You're not going to be able to just say, "Oh, I'm comfortable and oh, I'm going and it's going to stay like this." No, you're going to have to, you know what I mean,
Nah,
pivot.
that's the pivoting is the most crucial part of all of this, right? So what tends to happen, and this happened to me as well early on in your content creator journey, you're gonna fall into traps, right? And by this I mean, like, if you're only looking at the numbers, if you're only looking at the likes, if you're only looking at the views or anything like that, you're gonna start to become hooked to the views, right? So
Yep.
that could lead you to creating content that you don't want to create,
Yep.
but you're
Exactly.
like, man, like, if I don't create this, I don't get the views. And then
Exactly.
if I don't get the views, I'm not going to be able to monetize. So then, you start to fall into that trap that happens to
Yep.
many, many creators, right? And a lot of you are probably thinking that, oh, you need a big following. You don't need today, in this day and age, you do not need a big
Yep.
following to monetize.
So, so let me say this. I'm glad you said that, because this is one thing I did learn. There's a difference between followers and a fan base. Okay. You can have 2 million followers, but the truth of the matter is only 10,000 of them could really rock with you. You know, now I understand those numbers. A lot of times people get tripped up on the numbers. I call the numbers vanity metrics. Those are just vanity metrics. So even when you start talking about YouTube, right? Views. Everybody talks about views, but I'm gonna be very honest with you. What tells the story is the watch time. The watch time. See, you want people to watch you, not just view you, right? Because a view, you know, that could be 3 seconds. So you could have someone that gets a million views and, you know, a million people only watch 5 seconds. And then you can get somebody who got 20,000 views and all 20,000 watch the whole piece of content. That person with the 20,000 gonna make more, you know? So it's about the watch time. So I tell people, don't get so tripped up on the numbers, though I call them vanity metrics. Get tripped, you know, it's about the quality. It's about really, I'd rather have, you know, 70,000 dedicated people that really rock with me than have a million and, you know, only 5,000 of those million really tap in with me. And then one thing I want people to realize too is that, you know, even by you know the metric of social media, if you have a million followers, think about it. A million people aren't seeing you every day, all day, right? Truth be told, and correct me if I'm wrong, Duno, but what is it? Maybe on a high end, 5% are really kind of tapping in and engaging with you, 5% of your following. And that applies to kind of all of us, right? So if you can get higher, then cool. You know, some people may have higher because they're consistent and they really are engaging and have quality content. They're on it. So yeah, don't think that you have to have all these millions of followers to make money, because you don't. You don't. You could, as long as you can have 5,000 followers, you can have 500 followers. And those 500 people hang on to everything that you do and say. You could be selling t-shirts, and guess what? Every time you have something new, those 500 people tap in with you and they support you, right? So it's about, again, it's a difference between a fan base and followers, you know, so.
And to add on to that too, it's like most people like the point that we're really trying to drill into you guys' head is that in today's digital world, right? Social media is like it's no longer just a platform for sharing photos, right? It's a tool, it's a powerful tool that can open doors of opportunities in any direction that you want, propelling you to your next level, to your next career, to whatever it is that you want to transition into, whether it's a business, whether you want to build custom homes, whether you want to build custom pottery, like flower
Yeah.
pots, anything. Like you're able to leverage social media to have any type of career you want. Even music artists, even a job, not even a job, but let's say it would be harder back then to get noticed for its talent as an athlete, whatever it is. Nowadays, as long as you're posting some content of what you're doing, of you practicing, of you rehearsing, of you doing your drills, you're going to start to build that audience that's going to start to bring you that attention that you might have never had in the past, right? In the past, I think even for an athlete, you'd record a film, right? And then you'd get it to an editor so that they could get the spots that you want, and then you would send it to a coach or a school, and maybe they don't even get to view it. Now,
Yeah.
with social media, I would assume that scouts are also looking on social media to see
Of
if they
course.
can the next
Yeah.
talent, right? Whether it's in the music industry, in the acting industry, in the sports athletes world, right? None
Yes.
of us were born with the audience that we have, right? And we're not saying that you're gonna make millions, right? It takes an obsessive person to make millions with anything. But
Hmm.
if you're looking to make an extra 2, 3, 4,000, even 10,000 a month to
Yeah.
just, stash away for vacation, stash away for emergencies, and really just start to ease into that type of lifestyle that you want, social media is the gateway into getting that and to making it happen. So another question that I kind of wanted to transition us into is monetizing in different industries, right? So for those of you that stayed up till this far into this interview, we're actually going to give you guys some more game now, right? So let's say industry like adaptability, right? So in your opinion, what aspects of like some of the stuff that you've done on social media, right, that you think could be adapted by any viewer right now in other industries, right? So you could pick an industry and just give an example of how you would start to build an audience in that industry and then potentially monetize it.
Oh man, even like I said earlier, I'm trying to think someone, okay, for instance, say you have a barbershop, right? Excuse me. Okay, barbershop, we all know what that is. We've all been, I just went today, you know what I mean? So, okay, say you want to drum up more traffic, more interest, right? Okay, what would I tell a barber to do with the owner of a shop? I say, okay, for starters, put obviously your cuts. You want to put your cuts on there. You want to show the work, but then you also want to show the ambience of that shop. You want to show the cleanliness of that shop. So you want to show the personality and the vibe of that shop. So what I would tell them is, hey, do some fun demonstrations of how you guys, clean your instruments and, how you keep everything sanitary. Make it fun, show the ambience of the shop, how you guys joke with each other, the conversations that you have when you guys are, josing with each other or watching the game or whatever. Show that you guys clean up, have fun when you're sweeping the hair up, have fun with your clients. Find a way to articulate that you guys are punctual. You know what I mean? So every nuance of that shop that you want to articulate, you can now be creative with that and you can be fun with it. You know what I mean? So understand what your messaging is in anything that you're doing. So now what do you convey for this barbershop? Okay, we have fun in here. It's a good vibe. We're punctual. We're clean. We do dope haircuts. We do dope work. Man, this is where you want to go. This is a good environment, and you want to be able to showcase that to social media. So that's what I would tell them to do, and do it consistently and make it fun. And then what I tell people too, don't be afraid to get involved with the national conversation either, to put you in the algorithm. So say for instance, you may be doing, you're in a barbershop. Donald Trump may be trending. That content can go so many ways as it pertains to hair, right? But again, you get in the net, and you know, you could have someone come up in there and be like, you know what, if Donald Trump came and sat in my chair, this is how I would kind of cut. I'd fix that swoosh thing that he does and all of that, but you can make it fun. That will push you into the algorithm, you know, because that's a trending topic. So be creative. That's the advice that I would give to someone in that industry. Same thing with truckers. You know, truckers, you know, what is that like in that cockpit? What is that like over? What are the strange things that you see? Having to use the restroom in the middle of nowhere, you know, having to sleep in the little thing, the security methods that you take. It's so much stuff that's content that's interesting, because guess what? We're in a world that people will love to vicariously live through your experience in social media. So I don't have to be a trucker, but guess what? I can go on that road with you. You know, I can experience like, wow, vicariously through you. So with that, finding your people and your audience, I may not want to be a trucker, but I just love your content. Oh, you sell hoodies? Man, I love that. I love when you say that. That saying that you put on the hoodie every time you have to go to the restroom in the middle of nowhere. Where can I get the hoodie? You know, so it's just it's connecting with people, it's being creative and letting people vicariously live through you. That's
Yep.
what I would tell someone in that industry.
Yep. And the underlying message that he actually just told you guys, a big piece of all of this is education and uniqueness. Those
Yeah.
are the top two things that will allow you to really monetize to the fullest potential, right? And when I say education, you don't need to become, like the top expert in your field. A lot of times, you just need to know a little bit more than somebody else. And now they're willing to listen to you. They're willing to pay attention to you. And sometimes they're willing to pay you just to learn more from you, right? So that barbershop and the trucker example, say that barbershop, the owner or the owners of that barbershop say now, alongside the content that they're creating, they're also educating you on the types of clippers to use if you want to do it yourself, if you don't have time, if you want to shave in the, like you want to go to the bathroom and shave, or they start to educate you on the types of cream that you want to, on the types of, let's say lotion that you should be using and that you shouldn't be using, right?
Mhm.
There's all types of education that you will never run out of content, because now you understand, okay, how can I continue to help my audience so that they can start to really just understand that I'm more than just a barber. I'm more than just a trucker. I can also teach you guys how to do this. And guess what? Say you've given people enough of let's say enough information at some point, right? So let's say you've shown them how to trim it for themselves, even though some people be like, well, wouldn't that defeat the purpose of them coming to me? They will still come to you because now you're showcasing that you are someone who knows every detail of what you're talking about. You pay attention to what you're putting on your customer's skin because you don't want them to have a
Yeah.
bad day. You don't want them to have a bad week. You understand that they come to you because they're trying to look their best, right? So now let's use the trucker example. That
Mhm.
trucker is educating you about the types of trucks. That trucker is educating you about how he drives, how he pays attention to the road, how he's aware of everything all the time, how to stay aware if you're a truck driver, how to
Yeah.
avoid crashes, how to avoid crazy drivers on the road, right? So now he's not only building an audience of people that just like to watch the truckers, or people that like to watch the view while they drive, or people that like their hot takes on what's happening right now in the world, but now they're also attracting the people that want to become truckers, the people that want to own their own truck, the people that want to customize their trucks, how to design a truck, how to customize a truck. You start to attract different types of people. And now, as you're attracting different types of people because you're educating them, you become more unique, right? You're not just another trucker. Say there's 10 truckers creating content. Well, this one's talking about politics. This one is teaching you how to drive a truck. This one is teaching you tips and tricks on driving a truck. This one is teaching you how to, what type of paint to put on your truck if you want to have a unique look, a unique style. This one is teaching you how to avoid cops, how to avoid getting stuck in traffic, how to avoid, like if for those of you that drive stick shift, so I could drive stick shift, it gets really annoying when you're in bumper to bumper traffic, right? So they're teaching you tips and tricks in that manner. So there's so many different angles that you can go with content, and each angle that you choose to go, you're attracting a new group of people. And as you attract that new group of people, you're now attracting the people that are willing to pay you if you launch a hoodie, if you launch a course, if you launch whatever you choose to launch, whether you're selling your own products, whether you're reselling other people's products, that's going to allow you to then start to build that lifestyle that you want, right? I don't know if you were going to say something on that.
No. What I would say is most wealthy people and most millionaires are made by selling some type of product. You know what I mean? So when you go into it, no matter what you create, no matter what you like to do, always have in the back of your mind what you can sell someone. A tangible product or service is always good. So I always say the best business is, when you find a solution to a problem or you have a product to sell. So again, hoodies or just, merch. Merch is always good. If you think about even, just kind of going into the music side of things, most artists, especially independent artists, they make the majority, a good portion of their money off of merch. People love, whether it's mugs, key rings, clothing, whatever that is. But you have to bring value to that merch first. And that value is going to be the consistency of whatever your messaging is, whatever your presentation is, they have to buy into what it is you're doing. And that's where we come in, because we show you and we teach you how to get people to buy into what it is that you're doing and you're selling. And it does come back to the messaging. I always ask people come to me all the time and they say, well, I have an idea and I have an idea. I always say, well, what is your soapbox? What is your messaging? What does it represent? Because people want to connect to the story. That's cool that they think it's cute and they like it and all, but people are really vested when they understand what's the messaging, what's the story. So that's a good part. That's a big part of it too. What is your story and what is your messaging?
100%, 100%. And, a lot of you might be asking, well, I get the point. I get the point, right? I should be on social media. And you're probably like, okay, well, what's the next step, right? What are you guys teaching, like showing us this stuff? Well, look, the biggest thing I really want you guys to grasp is like everything that we're doing, right, at Legacy Builders University is we're not just here to help you be on social media. We're not just here to help you create content. Our goal is to help you guys monetize in the most efficient way possible so that you start to live the type of lifestyle that you want. Right. And unlike most experts in this space, we don't really just focus on teaching you guys, some secret system or anything like that, some bulletproof method or something that's gonna, completely solve all your problems. Right. That's what most people do. Right. The truth is that a lot of those systems, they don't work for everybody. And when everyone starts using the same thing word for word, then they stop working anyway. What we do is we focus on teaching you guys simplicity, right?
Yeah.
And we teach you simple strategies that will work for anyone trying to leverage social media to start or grow an online income or an online business, right? Like in anything that you do, simple always scales, right? And that's actually why we partnered along with other expert coaches like Rachel Renee and John Franco to really bring you guys legacy builders, because we understand that this is something that is needed today, right? Where we will show you exactly how to make money online by building an audience on social media. And a lot of times you don't even have to be on social media, because right in your phone, you have an audience. You already,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure some of you have 100 phone numbers, 200, 500, 1,000. I even know someone with over 17,000 contacts in their phone. Now, do you talk to them all the time? Probably not. But I guarantee, hey, yo, you have some medical bill that's coming up next month and you need to find a way, or you need to find some people or group of people that'll let you borrow. You're probably going to reach out and tap into that audience that's in your phone already, right?
Yeah.
So we're here to help you guys, learn the simple aspects of making money online so that you start to change the lifestyle that you currently live and start to live the lifestyle that you want to live, right? And so I don't know if you have anything to say on that, Big Court, before I continue.
Well, what I would say is, listen, at this stage, at this juncture in my life, I have been successful in so many other spaces, but right now, at this tender age of almost 50 years old, I can honestly say proudly that I am more or less a full-time content creator. know. Now, mind you, I have success in other arenas. I have multiple revenue streams, but I really get my most fulfillment through creating my content and what I do with social media, you know, and maybe it's just the creative in me, but I get, you know, I really feel grateful, and I'm always fulfilled, especially because I'm able to tap in with so many different other people, and I'm able to help people because when I said earlier, what's your soapbox? What's your messaging? Well, my platform was predicated and built on having a specific message for the culture where I could share knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, where I could share game with our culture and with people and be able to enlighten, you know, the youngsters coming up and different things like that. So even with Legacy Builders University, that's where I get my fulfillment, by being able to pay it forward and share my experience, you know. So for me, like I said, if I could do it, if I can do it, mind you, I started out as not being the most techie person, definitely not social media savvy. To fast forward years later, that's not even counting my real estate and my other ventures and different things like that. That's not even counting that, you know, and it doesn't take all of my time. So imagine if I was to go like super hard, 100%, you know, just 20 hours a day, just bam, 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 you know. So if I can do it, I guarantee with the right, you know, with the right tools and the right people and the right guidance, you guys can definitely do what I've done and even more, and even more. I'm confident.
He's not even spending that much time on it, right? That's the biggest benefit to all of this. Like inside of Legacy Builders University, we're really there to help you guys develop the skills and the traits beyond what you could possibly imagine right now, right? You're gonna like I'll just run down exactly what's inside, right? You're gonna learn to develop a brand that makes people instantly attracted to you. You're gonna be able to confidently create digital products or services that your audience can't wait to even, you know, to get their hands on, right? You're going to learn how to, you know, confidently monetize your time. You're going to learn how to, you know, you're going to learn all the valuable lessons and all the failures, the painful failures that we've been through these last couple of years, not just learning, right? Like me, myself, I've coached over 400 different people on a lot of this stuff, and I've seen the struggle. I've struggled to create content. I've gone through where, you know, there's those periods of time that, you know, the algorithms don't even want to promote your content, and you're like, what's going on? Like, why am I not getting any views, right? So we're here to help you work through that, right? Because it's a mindset, because a lot of people give up the moment they get some what is that, they get some turbulence in the, you know, on the
Oh,
floor,
for sure.
right?
For sure.
And you know, you're also going to meet people who you would normally not have access to, and really build a network that starts to build net worth, right? You're also going to have access to some of the greatest minds in the digital entrepreneurship world. You're not just here to learn how to get followers. We're here to help you shift your lifestyle and really start to build the lifestyle that you want. Whatever it is that you choose to go after, Legacy Builders University will help you get there. And of course, you will find a link somewhere in this video, somewhere on this page, to get access to or even learn more about Legacy Builders. Big Court, I don't know if you have any last messages for the people.
No, man. Tap in with Legacy Builder University. Like I said, if I can do it, I guarantee you guys can do it, you know. So listen, I'm again almost 50, making high six figures, you know, off social media. So you know, we're here to help you guys. We're here to help you, you know, bring your dreams to fruition, really dig in, and so we can cut down the learning curve for you and have you get straight to the money, you know, so you don't have to bump your head. And we've done that for you. We've bumped our heads, we've done all of that. So yeah, that's what I would tell you. Listen, we can help you find your people, find your voice, find your soapbox, find your messaging, and then, you know, you'll be able to, I'm telling you, because I didn't believe it myself, right? Until I really got into it. And I'm like, dang, wow, this is crazy. Now I'm able to travel. I'm able to do this and do that all off of social media. I'm being very honest with you now. You know, I've had it to do from other things, but social media is an extra added cherry on top. So I want everybody to experience that. So, you know, yes, Legacy Builders University, come on, y'all need to get with us. Y'all definitely need to get with us.
100%. So yeah, like I said, you know, there's gonna be a lot of stuff that's coming soon, right? Like I'll say coming soon is the best thing you're gonna hear from us because we have so many things in the works. We have so many celebrities that are getting interviewed specifically for legacy builders. So you guys
Yeah.
can get a different side of not only them, but how they've experienced social media and how they are leveraging social media to further their careers. We're going to bring on different types of people, different types of experts to really help drill in you guys' ability to get to that next level in your career, whether you want to go full time with what you're currently doing and doing social media on the side, or if you want to go full time with social media and just say, you know what, I don't need this job anymore, right? That's what we're here for. That's what we're here to help you guys with. So with that being said, we'll see you inside.
Salute.